Well, attention Colombia and attention Latin America, because today in Somos MMA, we are going to talk with Bryan Barberena. He's an American fighter with Colombian roots, and he's going to be facing Anthony Ivy in a few days on the UFC 10 event. He kindly giving us some minutes to chat. So, Bryan, welcome to Somos MMA. It's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you very much, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, man. I'm really looking forward to talking with you guys.
Well, so Bryan, first of all, how are you? How are you doing? We know that you have been out of competition last year due to an injury. So how is that going on?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I had back surgery last September. It's been over a year since I fought already, and it'll be a year since my surgery when I step into the octagon again. And honestly, it's the best move I've ever made, best decision I've made. The doctor was really great. I went out and found the best doctor, and man, I'm feeling better than I ever have in a long time. So I'm ready to go. Training's been great. My back's been holding up great. Haven't had any issues. So, man, I'm just ready to put on a show.
Well, it's great to hear that. And talk us about the training camp. How is it going on? How are you preparing for this fight?
Yeah, Anthony Ivy, he's new to the UFC. He's had one fight. Didn't go his way. And honestly, that's about the only fight I saw. And I happened to see that fight because I was watching the event live, I take that loss for him as, a banana peel. He slipped on a banana peel. I take it with a grain of salt. It doesn't mean anything to me. I didn't, not enough to see anything, and definitely not enough to show his skills. I know he's better than that. I'm not big on watching film. I focus on myself and my abilities, and I'm definitely sharp right now. And, my team watches him and lets me know what he likes to do, and we perfect my game plan in training camp. And training camp has been awesome. I've had, Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman with me, Joe Selecki, John Salter. These are all guys who fought in the last month. Impa Kasanganai, he just made his debut in the UFC. He's one of my big training partners. So, man, I have a great team around me at Jimmo and in North Carolina, and they've been, really helping me out through my camp, helping me out. Jeff Jimmo, the coach, has really perfected my diet, my conditioning, my training, all set for this fight and for a great comeback.
Awesome. And well, Bryan, I want to ask you, what are we going to see on September the 26th that we haven't seen yet from you? Because, well, and also you had a long layoff during this last year. So are there any new tricks in this Bryan Barberena? What are we going to see in a few weeks?
Yeah, the fight's September 12th, so 2 weeks away.
Oh, September 12th. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. All good. But I mean, definitely you can expect to see some new tricks, some new things that I've been working on and sharpening up, but you can expect to see a whole lot of damage being done by me to him. So that's the plan. Go in there, cause damage, cause havoc, and get my hand raised.
Sure. Well, you have been talking about Anthony Ivy. What does he brings to the table that makes him a tough opponent? I mean, you said that you don't like to watch very much the fights of your rivals, but what do you expect from him?
I expect him to bring it. I expect him. He didn't have a great showing as his debut. He didn't perform definitely not how he wanted to or how he expected to. So I expect him to come out firing, to come out, with an edge, come out wanted to get that back, wanted to show that he deserves to be there, So I expect him to come out really hungry and wanting to make a statement. Just so happens he's matched up against me, and I'm starving. Right now. So
I can imagine.
It's going to be a tough night for him.
And Bryan, let's talk about this new normal and how is to prepare a fight in the middle of these uncertain times. I mean, with all this pandemic situation, the COVID-19 and all that thing going on, how does that affect you or your preparation, if it affects you?
Yeah, well, at home it definitely does. While I'm home, actually in camp it definitely does. At home, not so much, because I have a farm, I have land.
Yeah.
We're spaced away from everybody. So it's like, I don't really come in contact with a bunch of people. If I need to go to the store or anything, we make sure, we're wearing masks and everything, and sanitizing when we come out, and doing all the necessary things, not only for my safety and to make it to the fight, but of course, more importantly, my family, my kids, their safety, so they don't get sick or anything like that. Camp is definitely different. Taking precautions and protective measures, running a smaller group, focused on only guys who are preparing for fights or have a fight coming up. So it's a smaller group, and we don't have a closed session. And it's hard to wear a mask when you're training. It's really hard.
Yeah, sure.
It comes off. I tried to do it the first week. It just came off, nonstop, constantly re-putting it on. Tried different ways of, 2 masks and other stuff, and it just was too tough to do. So we, made the adjustments and closed off training for only people preparing for fights and getting ready, and taking the safest precaution, making sure our teammates are, not out being, unsafe and everything, so that way we can make it to our fights successfully.
Yeah, and what about all the procedures that UFC is carrying on? I mean, what do you expect from that? Because it's going to be your first time in this new normal situation, new normal fight week. Did UFC tell you something about that? I mean, did they tell something?
They give some preparation and stuff like that, but I did already do a COVID test actually this morning for my flight to be tested before my flight next week. And, it's pretty simple. Did a FaceTime or a Zoom call, and with the lady watching me, and I had to do it all, while she's watching me do it. So there was that. That's obviously new, but I haven't heard too much about fight week yet. I do know a lot because, I've had teammates fight. Impa, Scott, Joe, they all just fought in the UFC. Yeah. So you show up there, and right away you go into a room, you get tested, and from that point on, you're locked in, your hotel room. You got your hotel room with your own training session and everything. And then once your test comes back, negative, you're allowed to, you can have people bring your stuff or your food, or you can go out and, risk, going out and wear a mask and everything and get your food and stuff and come back. But every day there's, retests, and, they do a test every day, and you have to, during that time period of testing and everything, you have to be stuck in your room and everything, which honestly, it's not a big deal to me. I'm not, I like to walk around a little bit, but being in my room and being, stuck in my room is not a big deal. My whole focus of fight week is rest and recovery, and of course weight cut, but rest and recovery is the key for fight week for me. And I spend a lot of my time relaxing and laying around, stretching, working out my muscles a little bit, and just really giving my body the time down, because it's been going so hard for the whole camp, and especially the last 2 weeks are amped up a lot. Then my body really needs that rest to be able to perform fight night.
Yeah, and what about fighting without the crowd? I mean, it's also going to be, I think, your first time without a crowd. Do you think that is going to affect you? I not your game plan, of course, but maybe your emotions or something like that, not having the people cheering and screaming on the arena?
I've never fought professionally in like a no arena or with no crowd or anything like that. I've had street fights growing up where it's just been me and the guy, or stuff like that. I've been in situations where it's been just me and a couple people, and we're throwing down. So the sound is not going to bother me. It's actually probably going to be even more helpful, because I'm going to be able to hear my corner that much more and everything, and I'm sure he'll hear my corner too, and I'll hear his corner. So obviously, there's going to be that change and differently, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. I'm actually, it's whatever for me. Obviously, you can feed off the fans, and that's exciting. The biggest thing is wanting to put on a show for the fans when they're there, so you kind of get a little bit extra. But, I like to fight and throw down and cause a lot of damage and go forward. So, man, I think the fans watching are really going to enjoy this fight and really enjoy the action.
Well, and talking about this, what do you think about the smaller octagon of the Apex? That is something that you take into account on your game plan. You like that or no?
The smaller cage is not a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it definitely presses the action more. Not more room to move around and stuff like that, and probably favors certain styles better. But to me, it doesn't matter. I'm excited to get in there, and I'm going to be in his face either way. So, big cage, small cage. I'm going to be right there.
And Bryan, well, talking about your Colombian roots. Your father is Colombian, and what do you like the most about the Colombian culture?
For me, it's my dad told me growing up and stuff. It was like, we're Colombian, we're warriors, or a lot. If it's true or not for our family or not, impacts in our past or whatever. But I fed off that, and I still believe that, and I believe that our last name is full of warriors, and the Colombian blood was running through my veins and driving me to do great things. And so, just being Colombian in general, I love the way the people are, the love they show and the support they show, and the pride they show for Colombia, man, the pride they show for theirs. So that's the biggest thing for me, man. I'm a Colombian warrior. I believe that to my heart, and growing up, believing that 100%. No one could tell me different. So I'm just honored to be Colombian and honored to represent in the Octagon and hold the flag high for all the Colombian supporters. And I do the U.S. flag as well, just because I'm an American, proud of that as well. But my dad coming from Colombia and everything, and I have tons of family still out there, and man, I'm just proud to be Colombian.
And for example, which is your favorite Colombian food?
My mom, my grandma used to make this chicken soup.
Yeah.
It was really, that's just how I remember. But actually, my favorite Colombian food is it's a bread. It's pan de yuca or arepas.
Yeah.
I love those, man. I could eat those all day.
Well, not during training camp. I think.
No. Hey, but I have the mix, the yucarina and everything already ready to make them right after fight. So my dad taught my wife how to make it and everything. So my wife makes them up for me, man. Whew, love it.
Awesome. Bryan, thank you very much for your time, man. It was great to talk with you. I think that all Colombia and all Latin American is going to be watching your fight on September the 12th, just to say it correctly. And thank you very much. It was great to have a chat with you. And you can with Somos MMA for whatever you want. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all the Latin supporters, all the Colombian supporters, American supporters. Thank you, everybody who supports me and backs me. I'm excited to be back, excited to put on a performance for you guys. Thank you for having me on and talking with me. Man, I'd love to come back on maybe after the fight, talking again. And just thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your support.
Gracias por visitar Somos MMA en YouTube. No olvides suscribirte a nuestro canal y activar las notificaciones para seguir disfrutando de nuestro contenido.